All right, guys, welcome to the 8th episode of Hot Takes Cold Truths. Today, we'll be talking about players who need a farewell tour. And to understand who needs a farewell tour, you need to first understand what is a farewell tour, right? NBA players, when they retire, sometimes get these things called farewell tours. The most recent ones are like Kobe, D Wade, Dirk Nowitzki. I hope I pronounced that right. But basically, they let everybody know I'm gone after this. This is my last time playing last season. And I feel like it's not only a good thing for the star themselves, because I feel like stars get acknowledgement of all the good things they've done throughout their career, but it's also a good time for, like, let's say if you're a fan who never had the money to go see your favorite player, and you're like, if you know that's the last time you got to see him, right, but you've been prioritizing things that you should prioritize, you at least now have this one last opportunity to go see them, and you know that, hey, there's no other time to but this time. And so you could start putting money towards possibly seeing them on this farewell tour. Another thing is just for the fans to be able to say goodbye. It sucks when you're watching the player and then poof, an injury happens and they get their career shattered, or when a player drastically drops in progression and so they no longer get signed to a team. Those things suck. And so they end up, deciding to retire. So I feel like for those who get to make it to the very end on their own terms, deserve a farewell tour. And so now I'm going to talk about people who deserve a farewell tour. Number one, Chris Paul. See, I think Chris Paul has done so much, not only for the league, but for franchises, right? Especially the Clippers. To me, he elevated DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin to larger than life characters, right? When you seen Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, you were just scared. And I'm not saying that they couldn't make this for themselves, but just something about Chris Paul being able to pinpoint a target in the air for you to go run and catch and slam that down made them that much more devastating. And the Lob City, their success, all that, I feel like starts from Chris Paul. If there wasn't for injuries, I feel like they would have been much further. I'm not guaranteeing a championship, but I'm saying they're going to be much further than what they did. And just seeing, like I said, what he did on other teams, how he helped develop other players, how he was a role model for other players, I think he just deserves a farewell tour. He's one of the best point guards that this league has ever seen, and it'd be nice to see, him get his flowers. So hopefully this upcoming season, if he really is retiring after the season, farewell tour, y'all. Another person who I feel like deserves a farewell tour is Russell Westbrook. As much as I disliked his playstyle, I said this in the previous video, I didn't like his playstyle. I would always give respect where respect is due. And at the end of the day, yes, he relied a lot on his athleticism, but there's a lot of athletic people who aren't doing as much as he did, right? He was Mr. Triple-Double. He was loyal to the Thunder when really there was no reason to be anymore. Things like this. And I feel like if he does end up back on OKC sometime in his career at the end, I think he deserves that farewell tour. All right. I think OKC fans love him. When I used to love KD, his play style and being mesmerized by how good OKC was, Westbrook was right there. I'm not saying I never liked when Westbrook used to dunk it down and all that. Ooh, I used to get hyped. So I think, and that's just me being from New York and seeing him on the TV. Now imagine being the city that he's playing for. So I know the fans love Westbrook probably. Like they probably really, really love him. And I feel like he deserves a farewell tour. I feel like the fans deserve Westbrook getting a farewell tour so they can show him, that appreciation. Speaking of being loyal and deserving appreciation, Damian Lillard. And actually, I'm going to do a double here. Damian Lillard and DeRozan. Now, I don't know DeRozan's situation with Toronto, so I can't necessarily say that this will happen for him. But I feel like basically they were both loyal to these franchises, right? Dame to Portland, DeRozan to the Raptors. And I feel like what they gave them, even when the grass was always greener on the other side, right? They stood there, stuck it out. And I mean, in DeRozan's case, he got traded not when he wanted to, just because the grass was greener for them. All right. I don't really understand the Dame situation. Like, I know he said he asked for a trade, but it was like, was he really wanting a trade, or did he want, that one's a little messy for me. But those two were really loyal to those two franchises. And I feel like, at least from loyalty and what they gave the franchises, they deserve that farewell tour. Someone else who is also loyal to a franchise and gave his all is Klay Thompson. Yeah, Klay Thompson now left, right? What, he got like 3-4 years, maybe 5 in his career. He left now, yeah. But we're not gonna act like this man was not hitting everybody with the 4 horsemen. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And just what, like, he got the nickname Splash Brothers. Shoot, this man was getting records over there, breaking records, breaking NBA records in in Golden State uniform. The man's tribute, everybody was wearing the sailor hats. You know damn well Klay deserves that farewell tour. And obviously, Steph does too. The reason why I'm mentioning Klay is because most likely nobody's going to mention Klay, Dame, DeRozan, hell, maybe even Westbrook when they're talking about farewell tours. So I'm trying to bring up certain people that you might not think deserves a farewell tour. So yes, I think Klay, what he meant to the organization, all that stuff, he deserves a farewell tour in Golden State. I feel like if you're going to give Steph one, you have to give Klay one. If you're going to give Steph one, you have to give Klay one. And I think the fans deserve it, right? Because the way they stuck with that team every time they got bounced in the playoffs. I remember that too. I was like, damn, they remind me. I was like, they just fighting. I remember watching their come up, getting bounced. But it was like each time they got bounced, they would climb closer and closer. And then eventually they just, boom, just win. I'm like, damn, okay. Like, y'all took over. Hold up. So I think Klay, really deserves that. The next person I feel like really deserves it is Kevin Durant. Now I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh, but he was hopping teams. What team's gonna give it to him? Whatever team he's on. He's that good that it's just like, listen, whatever team I'm on, farewell tour. When I go face OKC, if OKC want to cheer for me, cool. Thank you for the farewell. Mwah, love you guys. Go to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn. Like, listen, you should have came to New York, but it's cool. See, farewell. Houston, farewell. Phoenix, farewell. KD has given a lot to a lot of franchises, and I feel like he deserves that farewell. Whether you think his time in Brooklyn was successful, to me, they were plagued by injuries during a plague. I think you should put that in your mind when thinking about KD's stint in Brooklyn. His stint in Phoenix, who really thought they were going to win? Y'all really think KD was going to win something in Phoenix? What, because he had Booker? They went and sold most of what they had to Bradley Beal. They had no depth. They were never winning. Oh, I said in Brooklyn? Hold on, my bad. I meant in Phoenix. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they had no depth in Phoenix, no nothing in Phoenix. And so definitely Phoenix wasn't winning it. Even with KD, shoot, LeBron could have went there. Phoenix wasn't winning it. In Brooklyn, it was probably his best bet. That was an amazing team. We're not gonna act like if it wasn't for injuries that Brooklyn team probably would have won a championship. I'm sorry, they would have definitely won a definitely would have won one. Thunder, I feel like if he stood in Thunder, they probably could have won one. Golden State, look at that. They would have won a couple more if he stood there, right? So yeah, I feel like KD definitely deserves a farewell tour. He's like, to me, KD's like a mercenary. You know what I'm saying? Like when we need a championship, I call KD. KD doesn't ring chase. He gets rings. You know what I'm saying? He gets the rings for it. You call KD over, as long as you got a couple guys to back me up, I'm gonna get you that ring. And yeah, a lot of times there's injuries involved. If you look at KD and his career and whatever teams he's on, if there's injuries involved, they don't win a ring. Look at Golden State when they faced Toronto. Injuries involved, they didn't win the ring. Brooklyn, injuries involved, he carried them as far as he could have. They didn't win a ring. Phoenix, come on. You can never say, oh, KD, you had a full team and y'all lost. Can't say that with KD. Maybe with Thunder when he was young KD, yeah, maybe. I don't remember if anybody got injured. But even if they did, you know what I'm saying? Injuries happen. I'm just saying, legacy-wise, farewell tour-wise, you got to give it to KD. And last but not least, y'all know y'all got to have to give it to this man. I just wanted to say it because I feel like we haven't had one on this caliber in a while since Kobe, but LeBron James. I don't think he'll hit the same as Kobe's because Kobe was with the Lakers his whole career, but I feel like LeBron James is league wide has fans, right? I feel that everybody will show out for LeBron, and he deserves it, man. You break so many records. Records aside, you gave the game itself everything, and I feel like people like that should be appreciated. Like, whether you agree that he's the GOAT, whether you agree about his legacy or not, LeBron James did give it all to the NBA. He's won multiple championships, multiple MVPs. That's someone who deserves a farewell tour. Because, hey, after he's gone, we're going to have to be looking for Luka? Maybe. Jokic? Maybe. Giannis? Maybe. Who knows? Ant? Maybe. So it doesn't happen often. We had MJ, we had Kobe, then we had LeBron. You see that, like, it's gonna always be that someone at the top, and I feel like you always gotta give that person that farewell tour, because it's like, thank you for bringing eyes to the league, thank you for bringing eyes to the sport. Thank you for inspiring people to play. Thank you for being the face. And I feel like when you have the face, you have to give the face some type of goodbye, acknowledge their career one last time. No, I didn't do that because of the musical Hamilton. No, literally just one last time. And some notable mentions who I feel like, if they stay the trajectory that they're on, deserves a farewell tour. One, I feel like if Melo came back, he would have definitely got his farewell tour. But because that is not the case, and he didn't, I feel like Brunson could get a farewell tour one day if he stays on the Knicks, continuously get to the playoffs and all that stuff. I feel like as much as we don't like him, Trae Young could get a farewell tour. As much as he brought to his franchise, I feel like Atlanta, loves him. He's a good player. You got to give him a farewell tour. Shoot, the run that Halliburton had this year, I feel like if he gets back healthy, he deserves a farewell tour. When his time is up, if he stays on the Pacers, I feel Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, what they gave to Boston, those two deserves farewell tours just from that alone, and then they won a chip there too. So there's that. Who else? I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm gonna stop doing thinking. If you know anybody that you're a fan of and you're like, damn, they deserve a farewell tour, drop that down in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Who deserves farewell tours? All right, and let me know what y'all feel about farewell tours. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you agree with me on who I think deserves and needs a farewell tour? Do you disagree? Just let me know in the comments. All right, thank you for watching.